Welcome one and welcome all to another thrilling episode of Fear Itself Reviews. I know, you've all been waiting for this for quite some time. This is your favorite series on the internet. Let's get started. Episode number 7. God, don't make me. Do I really have to do this one? Like, these others, yeah, I wanted to do them. As much as I hated them, I wanted to do them. But this one. I never wanted to do this one. It is just so unbelievably bad and so easy a target for me that I am doing this for your entertainment and nothing else. This is torture for me. I fucking hate Sonic. I always have. Let's get started. This is episode 7, Sonic.EXE. And since I see no reason to really, oh fuck, my mouse stayed on this entire time, wow. Since I see no reason to give it any more introduction than it deserves, I'm sure you all already know the story already. Here is my review of Sonic.EXE. Oh, there goes the mouse. We're off to a great start. I'm a total Sonic the Hedgehog fan. Much like everyone else. Okay, it's not like something like Dragon Ball Z or like Mario where like generations of people have been able to connect with it. It is, but it's not. Like, yeah, it's been around for generations, but how many people do you know that will go and praise the Sonic games at all? And if you're gonna tell me those side scrollers are good, then you need to go back to that time period, because side scrollers are dead for a reason unless they are done correctly. And that's like ancient caveman shit, the games that they say are good for Sonic. All of the new ones are terrible. All of them. In fact, I would say the only Sonic game I actually enjoyed was Sonic Heroes. And I only did that because you could play as other characters. That was the only reason I even enjoyed that game. And looking back on it, it wasn't very good either. So that's, you know, they just don't have a good run. Really, they really don't have a good run. They need to die. They're making a Sonic movie. That's another reason I'm doing this story. They're making a fucking movie! Guess what? They're also making a Mario movie. Holy fucking shit! Because if there's anything in the fucking world that I wanted to see in a theatrical film, it's Mario and Sonic! Did you not learn your lesson when you tried to put... Hold on. Give me a second. I need a second before I can make that joke. I haven't even started the story! Fuck! Anyways, did you not learn your lesson with the terrible Super Mario movie? Did you not learn your lesson when Dennis Hopper fucking Hopper played Bowser? And Mario movie. You did so good. You're such smart little cookies. You should all burn in hell. I would rather watch The Room on repeat with subtitles that make no sense and a different language playing constantly than watch Sonic or Mario in any media format for an extended period of time. Let's do the story. I like the newer games, but I don't mind playing the classics. Okay, the newer games are the worst, so fuck you. I don't think I've ever played glitchy or hacked games before, though I don't think I want to play any after the experience I had. ... It started on a nice summer afternoon. I was playing Sonic Unleashed. I liked how you get to explore the towns in it. You should play Sonic.EXE. I think you'll love it. Just a side note, if you've ever played Sonic.EXE, even for 5 minutes, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm just so sorry. Because I already know. I bought it as a joke, and I tried to play it, and it's not playable. It's just not playable. Alright. Until I noticed, out of my peripheral vision, that the mailman had arrived and put something in my mailbox as usual and left. I paused my game to go see what I got in the mail. The only thing in the mailbox was a CD case for computers and a note. I took it inside. I looked at the note first and realized it was from my dear friend Kyle. Let's just call him that. Whom I hadn't heard from in 2 weeks. I know that because I recognized his handwriting, though what was weird was how it looked. It looked badly written and scratchy and somewhat difficult to read, as if Kyle was having a hard time writing it down and did it in a hurry. I hope some of you have picked up on the voice that I'm trying to go for. If you haven't, I am so sorry. I'm not gonna explain it until the end of the video. This is what he wrote. Tom, I can't take it anymore. I had to get rid of this thing somehow before it was too late, and I was hoping you'd do it for me. I can't do it. He's after me, and if you don't destroy this CD, he'll come after you too. He's too fast for me. Please, Tom, destroy this godforsaken disc before he comes after you too. It's too late for me. Didn't you just say that? Destroy the disc, didn't you just say that? And you'll destroy him. But do it quick, otherwise he'll catch you. Don't even play the game. It's what he wants. Just destroy it. Please. Kyle. Oh, shit. Well, that was certainly weird. Even though Kyle is my best friend and I haven't seen him in 2 weeks, I didn't do what he asked me. You're an asshole, kid. I didn't think that a simple gaming disc would do anything bad to him. After all, it's just a game, right? Boy, was I wrong about that. Anyway, okay, let me point out how he spells anyway here. Why did you capitalize any and then separate the word way? They are the same word. Anyway, I looked at the disc and it looks like any ordinary computer CD-R disc, except it had black marker on it. Son of a bitch! Written Sonic.EXE, and it was much unlike Kyle's handwriting. You could not have made that sound more weird and unnatural. Meaning that he must have gotten it from someone else, like a pawn shop or eBay. When I saw Sonic on the writing of the CD, I was actually excited. Okay. It doesn't just say Sonic, it says Sonic.exe, so... Shh. Little details. The little details fucking matter. I was actually excited and wanted to play it since I'm a big Sonic fan. I went up to my room and turned on my computer and put the disc in and installed the game. When the title screen popped up, I was excited. I could finally jack it to Sonic. Okay, I'm sorry. The way he writes, I'm a big Sonic fan. Yeah, it sounded like he was about to take that up there and make love to it. When the title screen popped up, I noticed that it was the first Sonic game. I was like, awesome! Because like I said earlier, I like the classics. The first thing I noticed that was out of place was when I pressed start, there was a split second when I saw the title image turn into something much different. Something that I now consider horrifying before cutting to black. This is where it's going to go downhill really fucking fast. I'm sorry. There's no preparation I can give you for how ridiculous this story is about to become. There is no logic. There is no hope. Abandon all hope, ye who listen here. For Sonic will take your soul, and any shred of creativity with you. You have been warned. I remember what the image looked like in that split second before the game cut to black. Yeah, okay. Let me just let me enlighten you on something. If something on the screen flashes for a split second, you might be able to catch maybe one detail of what you saw. And even then, there's no guarantee it wasn't just your screen wonking out and making a weird texture, which it has done on mine several times just from my TV, and it's not due to a haunted game, it's just a fucking TV. Game textures mess up sometimes. Gotta remember that. I don't like, this one doesn't make me as mad initially because it doesn't automatically from the get-go say that it's a real story and like try to fuck you over like Ben Drown does. But I do believe that this story has created enough of a cancerous fan base that I don't even need to explain why this one is worse. It's simply worse by merit. I personally hate Ben Drowned more because it put itself off as a real story, and any story that puts itself off as being true and when it has nothing to do with reality absolutely pisses me off. It's the one thing that will get me to hate your story more than anything else. I'm going off on a tangent, so I'm gonna stop. But if my point is, if something flashes for a split second on your screen, you're not gonna fucking catch all the details that this motherfucker catches in this next few. Just a quick little thing. My last review did get demonetized for a little bit because of all the fucks. I'm not surprised. I honestly don't even try to monetize these really because I just leave the monetization setting alone. I don't do anything with it, but it's funny because my last one got demonetized and I thought it would stay that way because it's the one that I cussed I think more than any other one in my reviews. I don't think I've, except for maybe Weird Kid. I think that might have been the only other one. But it got remonetized, so I don't know, I don't know, but yeah, I completely agree with the demonetization of these reviews because they're really only meant for comedy. They're not meant for like, I'm not trying to like make my main content off of this. This is just for fun for me. I really don't care if it gets demonetized. That's why I use the language that I do, because it's not my priority to make these my safe videos. I only do that, like, I don't even really censor, I don't censor any videos that I do, because I don't believe in that. I think that you should be able to express yourself however you feel necessary. And strong language is a very, very good use of emotion in a lot of cases. And I don't actually use it too much in my story, if you listen. I do use quite a lot of it in my own talking, but, you know, that might be due to the stuff that I've always like watched and shit, but listen to what he says he saw in a split second and tell me you can believe this shit for a single second. The sky had darkened, the title emblem was rusted and ruined, the Sega 1991 was now instead Sega 666. Okay, so that's at the very corner of the screen. You're gonna tell me you had time to make out in those tiny little white letters at the corner of the screen, Sega 666, you were able to see all these details in the background, all of this shit, within one split second of time? Bullshit! You saw maybe one thing, and you wouldn't even be able to know what you saw, because you can't freeze the screen to go back! You've already fucked up your story, and you haven't even started it yet! And the water had turned red, like blood. Oh, God. Except it looked hyper-realistic. I'm sorry, I had to do that. I haven't actually, I don't think, this was the first story I've reviewed where hyper-realistic has actually been in it. But that reminds me, I know what I'm doing for my next one now. And I think if any of you know where the hyper-realistic thing really came from in this community, you're gonna know exactly which video comes after this one in the review series. And I think you'll like it. But the freakiest thing was that in that split-second frame was Sonic. Oh, he noticed this too. His eyes were pitch black and bleeding with two glowing red dots staring right at me! He capitalized right at me, so it's like, right at me! And his smile had stretched wider up to the edge of his face. I was rather disturbed about that image when I saw it, though I figured that it was just a glitch and forgot about it. After it cut to black, it stayed like that for about 10 seconds or so, and then another weird thing happened. The save file select from Sonic the Hedgehog 3 popped up, and I was like, what the fuck? Let me point out, this is supposed to be a thought. You never said that this was a dialogue, but he uses quotation marks, and he also doesn't go to the next sentence before he starts them. He just keeps writing in the same paragraph. Which isn't what you're supposed to do! What's this doing in the first Sonic game? Anyway, then I noticed something off. The background was the dark, cloudy sky of the Bad Stardust Speedway level from Sonic CD, and there were only 3 save files. The music was that creepy Caverns of Winter music from Earthbound, only it was extended and seemed to have been in reverse, and the image for the save file where you see a preview of the level you're on is just red static for all 3 files. So you're gonna tell me you had to rip off, I didn't actually remember this part, but you fucking ripped off another game's theme song and then made it creepy, and this story has absolutely nothing to do with Earthbound? Absolutely nothing to do with any of the other Sonic games? Absolutely nothing to do with absolutely anything that you just said? First Sonic game has nothing to do with any of that. Fuck you, writer. Fuck you hard. What freaked me out more was the character select. It showed only Tails, Knuckles, and to my surprise, Dr. Robotnik. Now I was sure that something was up. I mean, how can you play as Robotnik in a classic Sonic game? For crying out loud. You have the most realistic writing. It's beautiful. I love you. Can I like take you and put you in a glass case and let the world just study you for your brilliance? Can I do that? Name your price. That's when I realized that this wasn't a glitchy game. It was a hacked game. Yeah, it definitely looked hacked. It was really creepy. But as a smart gamer, I wasn't scared. Or at least I tried not to be. I told myself it was just a hacked game, and there's nothing wrong with that. Except, you know, maybe the fact that a hacked game could be a broken game. Broken games do not fucking work! I'm gonna go and get myself some food. I'll be right back to record the rest of this shit later. Toodles! Lunch break, everyone. Alright, take 2. I figured I'd just make as many disgusting sounds as I could to just get out all the nasty feelings I already have towards this shit. I felt like it would set the mood for the second half of this shit. So let's go ahead and let's go. Alright. Anyways, shaking off the creeped out feeling, I picked file 1 and chose Tails. And when I selected and got started, I didn't mess up there, I hope you guys realize. That is how the story is written. Anyways, shaking off the creeped out feeling, I picked file 1 and chose Tails, and when I selected and got started, period. New sentence! The game froze! This is just fucking lazy. New sentence. The game froze for about 5 seconds and I heard a creepy pixelated laugh that sounded an awful lot like that Kefka guy from Final Fantasy before cutting to black. Because why the fuck not bring another fucking video? God damn it! I can't do it! Can't do this. I've said that for every fucking story on here, but you know what? I can't actually do this one. Let me address this while it's fresh on my mind. I absolutely despise when you bring another known character in any form or fashion directly into your story, homaging characters that you love and creating characters from inspirations of other characters that you love and giving them similar personalities. That's okay. That is on a completely different level. That, in fact, is respecting the source material. It's honoring it. Hence why it's an homage. Because it's not just ripping it right out of whatever it came from and saying, oh, it's like this part of this guy, this part of this guy, and this part of this guy. That is what Sonic.exe is. It's trying to take all this shit from all these other stories that don't work and put them into a story that does not work. Well, news fucking flash, bitch! It doesn't work! And if you're wondering if my head is bulging in fury right now, yeah! It is! I can't tell you how angry it makes me when people just rip shit right out of something that's well known because they do it only for the sole reason that they know it's well known and it will get views, it will get traffic, it will get noticed. It grabs your attention for 1 second, sure, but you know what it grabs my attention for? To say, hey, this guy's a bitch! He just had to take something out of somebody else's thing, put it in here, and slightly edit it to try and actually resemble a semblance of originality. But it doesn't work! And all of you writers that think that this is the way that you tribute things that you love, allow me to give you an example of one of my own such things. Because you might not know this, but I didn't come up with every single thing for the characters in my own ongoing story. I got inspiration from things that I have gone and enjoyed and loved, but I didn't create them completely off of those inspirations. They're merely a part of the entire character, hence why it's honoring what it got it from instead of just giving him all this shit like it's a fucking fan fiction. Which is exactly what this should have been. How this ever got posted on the regular website and got away with it, I will never to this day know. Let me give you an example. My villain, the Hatter. He is not just based off of the Mad Hatter, obviously. I have him based off of two main villains from two different source materials. One of them is a horror villain, one of them is an anime villain. Two very different mediums, but they both have the same motivations and same qualities, so guess what? I could merge them, but guess what? It's not even the fact that he acts like one of the anime villain. He doesn't act exactly like that, but his motivations, and that's... I'll just have to explain it to you, okay? I can't explain it all to you because this part of the story has not come out, but it's a little bit of a spoiler right here. If you're watching this video, spoiler alert for Madness in Wonderland. But if you want to hear it, go ahead. If you don't, then just skip about another 5 minutes into the conversation and I should be done talking about it. But the Hatter is based off of Pennywise the Clown and Zamasu from Dragon Ball Super. Why? Well, the Zamasu part will make sense a lot more later on whenever I actually explain his character, but long story short, a mortal comes into his world of madness and all this, there's no logic, and all of a sudden, this human has created problems, and has created logic where there is supposed to be no logic. And thus it makes the Hatter angry, and he tries to get rid of them. And then, from that point on, that human is in a constant battle with the Hatter to try and take over the entirety of Wonderland. And, thus, it makes the Hatter hate humans, because the first and only human that he ever came into contact with before he met David was... You get it? Do you get it? He met one human, this first human, and he hated him. They just disrespected his land, and they did things to his people. And I'm not going to tell you all the details because this will all be explained later on. But this is where the story is leading, and why the Hatter is so vile a character. He's not just simply evil for the sake of being evil, where Pennywise was, I'll give him that. But he has the characteristics of Pennywise's too, because in this last chapter, for instance, we saw him form his hand into a curved blade, something Pennywise can do. He can shapeshift, And that's exactly where I got that. I took that inspiration from Pennywise the Clown, and the fact that he can smell and knows your fears and can get into your head. I used those kind of things to kind of inspire the Hatter's own, like, dark powers and stuff. But that's not all he can do. He can do other things. He can manipulate reality around him. He can make people see things that nobody else can see. He can even freeze reality if he wants to. Yes, he can freeze reality. Only in his reality, given, but you'll find all the complexities of everything he can do out later. My point is, I have the no mortals you hate, because Zamasu in Dragon Ball Super was all about no mortals. The mortals are evil and they only destroy. And that is where I got this inspiration for a mortal can come in and ruin his world and try and take his people from him. And in the process, he can develop this hatred for the mortal race. And because of that, he can use that to his advantage later on. And you might be able to start see what's kind of going on here, but it'll all come together in such a good way, and it's all inspired from different things, but in its originality, it's still a concept that I made, because there's no world where the Hatter, and I won't tell you who it is, but and this other person fight. There's no realm where that's really a thing, where they're fighting for ruling Wonderland. And that's where I've come up with something new. So, you see, I take something old, and I take something else old, and I can mix them into something new with inspiration and new ideas, and make something new out of it. It doesn't just have to come out looking like a fan fiction, or fucking Ugandan Knuckles. Like, for Christ's sake, can't do this anymore. I don't know how long I plan to keep this series fucking going, but it's taking so much out of me, and I don't even know. Anyway, let's move on with the story, because by now the scrolling has probably already moved down to the point that it doesn't even matter if you're reading the screen anymore. I might even just stop putting it on the screen. The only reason I put the words on the screen is so you can see the mistakes in the grammar and stuff yourself. And while there's not a lot of those in this story, still, just be watching the screen, and if it doesn't match up with what I'm reading, it doesn't matter, because this story is shit, and you don't need to be seeing it. It will make your eyes bleed. Alright, let's keep going. Sheesh, fuck, I haven't even gotten halfway through. The screen stayed black for about 10 seconds or more, then it showed the typical level title thing, except the simplistic shapes were different shades of red, and the text showed only Hill Act 1. The screen faded in, and the level title vanished, revealing Tails in the Green Hill Zone from Sonic 1. The music was different, though. It sounded like a peaceful melody in reverse. Anyway, I started playing and had Tails start running like you would in any of the classic Sonic games. What was odd was that as Tails was running along the level, there was nothing but flat ground and a few trees for 5 minutes. That was when, okay, we gotta address something here. From the part that he says classic Sonic games until this next sentence, he doesn't end his sentence at all. And while I know that that's okay, this isn't how you do this. Alright. That was when the peaceful music started to, okay, because this is how it would be read, honestly, okay? I'm just gonna read it the way it would be read. Anyway, I started playing and had Tails start running like you would in any of the classic Sonic games. What was odd was that as Tails was running along the level, there was nothing but flat ground and a few trees for 5 minutes. That was when the peaceful music started to lower down? Started to lower down! Are you fucking kidding me? Started to, decrease in volume? Is that what you're trying to say? Are you trying to say slow down? I have no fucking clue what you could mean by that. Lower down into slow, deep tones very slowly. Why would you use slow and then in the not the very next, but 2 words later, you use slowly to describe it? Do you know the English language? I suddenly saw something and I stopped to see what it was. It was one of the small animals lying dead on the ground bleeding. Oh, blah. That was when the music started to slow down. Oh, he actually got it right this time. Comma. Tails had a shocked and saddened look on his face, and that I never saw him have before, so I had him move along, and he kept that worried look on his face. As he kept moving, I saw more dead animals as Tails moved past him, looking more and more worried as the music lowers. Stop saying that! And he moves past more dead animals. I was shocked to see how they all died. They looked like somebody killed them in rather gruesome ways. A squirrel was hanged. A squirrel was hanged on a tree. Couldn't have said hung. With what appeared to be his entrails hanging out. Except for the fact that, you know, in that era, I doubt you would even know what entrails fucking looked like in bit form. So it probably just looked like a bunch of fucking blocks on the screen, didn't it? Yeah? I hate this story. A bunny had all 4 of his limbs torn off, and a duck had his eyes gouged out and his throat slit. I felt sick to my stomach when I saw this massacre, and apparently so did Tails. After a few more seconds, there were no more animals and the music seemed to have stopped. I still kept Tails to continue. How did you know that Tails was disturbed? Did he give you an expression? Did he gasp? Did he say anything? It doesn't say he did, so I'm just guessing you're lazy. I suddenly saw something, and I stopped to see what it was. It was one of the small animals. Oh, I already did this. Son of a bitch. It's fucking got me, and it's like Loop of Terror. After a minute passed after the music stopped. After a minute passed after the music stopped. That's not a sentence! Tails was running up a hill, and then he stopped. It wasn't until I saw why. I can't. Are you fucking kidding me? This sentence says, after a minute passed after the music stopped. Tails was running up a hill and then he stopped. It wasn't until I saw why. Semicolon. Sonic was there on the other side of the screen with his back against Tails with his eyes closed. That's a whole sentence. That whole 2 lines of wording. Tails looked happy to see Sonic, but then his smile faltered. Obviously noticing that Sonic wasn't responding to him, if not acting as if he was totally oblivious of Tails' presence. Tails walked slowly towards Sonic, and I noticed that I wasn't even moving my keyboard to make him move, so this had to have been a cutscene. Suddenly, I began to have a growing feel of dread. Son of a bitch. It's so bad. It's so fucking bad. There's no attempt to make the grammar sound right. There's no attempt at all. Suddenly I began to have a growing feel of dread as Tails walked closer to Sonic to get his attention. I felt that Tails was in danger and something bad was going to happen. I heard faint static growing louder as Tails was but inches from Sonic and stopped and stuck his hand out to touch him. That foreboding feeling in my gut was growing stronger, and I felt the urge to tell Tails to get away from Sonic as the static grew louder. Suddenly, in a split second, I saw Sonic's eyes open, and they were black with those red glowing dots, just like that title image, though there wasn't a smile. When that happened, the screen turned black and the static sound was off. It stayed black for about 7 seconds, and then white text appeared, forming a message saying, "Hello, do you want to play with me?" At this point, I was creeped out. I didn't want to continue with the game, but my curiosity got the better of me when I was taken to a different level with the level title now saying, "Hide and Seek." This time I was in the Angel Island level from Sonic 3 and it looked like everything was on fire. Tails looked as though he was scared out of his wits this time. He actually looked at me and made frantic gestures to me as if he wanted to get out of the area he was in as fast as possible. I was starting to get freaked out by this. I mean, Tails was actually breaking the fourth wall, trying to tell me to get him out of there. So I pressed down on the arrow keys hard as I could and made him run fast as he could. A pixelated version of that creepy theme when you meet Shadow at the Ark as Robotnik from Sonic Adventures 2 was playing as I made Tails trek through the desolate forest, trying to help him escape from whatever he was trying to run from. Suddenly, I heard that creepy laugh again, that awful Kefka laugh, goddammit, right after 10 seconds have passed. Oh, I'm sorry, are we in the present now? Are we in the present tense? 'Cause I thought we were in the fucking past! After 10 seconds have passed, as I helped Tails run through the forest, and then I started seeing flashes of SONIC popping everywhere on the screen, again with those black and red eyes. The music changed to that suspenseful drowning jingle as I see SONIC behind Tails slowly gaining up on him. Flying! It's in all caps, so I'm just gonna be as exaggerated as I can now. SONIC wasn't running, he was actually flying! The flying pose his sprite was making looked very similar to Metal Sonic's flying pose in Sonic CD, except it was just Sonic and he had the black and red eyes again only. New paragraph. This time he had the most deranged looking grin on his face. He looked as though he was enjoying the torment he was giving the poor little fox as he gained up on him. Suddenly, when Tails tripped, another cutscene. The music stopped and Sonic vanished. Tails laid there. Tails laid and shutting down. If any of you got that joke just now, please tell me. That's my favorite fucking joke out of I think any Game Grumps playthrough so far. Other than Endless Ocean, I think that my favorite is definitely the Doki Doki, when they're fucking talking for the girls and they just look like robots on the screen because of their posture, and the one named Monica, Aaron's like talking for it and he's just like, I know we do. I know we all do. If there shutting down. A few seconds later he'll go rebooting. I don't know why. I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm childish, but I thought that was so fucking funny because she really did. She looked like a fucking robot, and so from now on, a little inside joke if you watch Game Grumps is that from now on, if I really start to like fuck up in my wording and shit, I'm just gonna go shutting down. And I'm just gonna do that because that's gonna be my go-to now, because that's just fucking genius. Okay, where the fuck were we? Alright. Tails laid there and started crying for 15 seconds. The scene was rather upsetting to watch as I kind of teared up myself. Son of a bitch, what is with these goddamn pussies and crying over these damn video games? I think if I've ever gotten emotional over a video game, it was probably only once, and I don't even remember if I did. I think I've only ever like cried at like very few TV shows and a couple of movies. Sad ones. Like, there's not a whole lot. In a video game, you should not be crying over a Sonic video game. You put those words in your story, writer. Now, I already know that the writer of this is infamous in this community. I would encourage him to tell me what he thinks of my review. I don't give a fuck, but I want to see what jokes I can get out of it, because from the responses he's given everybody else, oh boy. But yeah, this story is shit, and everything about it is shit. So, writer, you are shit. for making this story, of course. I can never forgive you for that. I hope you know. Nobody can ever forgive you for this. Tails laid there, started crying for 15 seconds. Scene was rather upsetting. I teared up myself because I'm a pussy. But then Sonic appeared right in front of him, of Tails, and Tails looked up in horror. Okay. Writing 101. When you are writing a sentence, and you use the character's name, and you still have another mention of them in the sentence, it is probably best to refrain from using their name twice and just use the pronoun he. Because when you say Sonic appeared right in front of Tails and Tails looked up in horror, it sounds kind of wonky. Whereas if you were just to say, but then Sonic appeared right in front of Tails and he looked up in horror, it actually sounds right. Why did you make every fucking decision you could to make sure this story did not work? It's like you literally made every decision intentionally hoping this story would fail. Oh my god. How long is this one? Son of a bitch, it's already gonna be over an hour. God damn it. I was trying to avoid that with this piece of shit story, but I should have known better. Alright, the text returned, only this time... Oh, hold on, I'm already ahead of myself. Blood started to come down those blackened eyes of Sonic's as a grin slowly grew from his face as he looked down at the horrified fox. I could do nothing but watch. Just in a split second, Sonic lunged at Tails right before the screen went black. Let me stop you right there, because there is something you could do. You could turn the game off. You could turn the game off. Or you could turn the game off. Or, and hear me out on this one. It's a secret. You can turn the fucking game off! Anyway. Alright. Just in a split second, Sonic lunged at Tails right before the screen went to black. There was a loud screeching noise that only lasted 5 seconds. Only 5 seconds, wow. The text returned, only this time it said, "You're too slow, want to try again." And then that god-awful laugh came with it. I was so shocked by what had happened. Did Sonic murder Tails? No! He couldn't have. He and Tails are supposed to be best friends, right? Why did Sonic do that to him? Probably the same reason I'm wanting to bash my head into this fucking fan next to me. I shook the shock off as I was brought back to the character select. The save file that had Tails was different. Tails was no longer in the box itself, but in the TV screen itself, which was flickering with that red static. Tails' expression scared me. His eyes were black and bleeding. His orange fur had gone black, and he had an expression of anguish on his face, and he was black. I'm sorry. The red and black. I don't think it's... There's a drinking game you can play to this story. And I think it's, one of them is every time there's a mention of blood, every time there's a mention of red or black, every time there's a mention of hyperrealism, every time there's a mention of disembodied people, or just blood, like I said, blood in general. And anytime it brings... You know what? I'm going to add one. Take a drink every time this story brings up another video game. You'll get drunk just off of that, because it brings in, I think, at least 5 different things. I hate this story. I want it to die in a fiery ditch of hellfire and destruction and pain and suffering. I want this story to suffer very much. I need another break. I honestly can't even... I can't finish this shit in even 2 sittings. I can't... Let's get this shit over with so I can just enjoy the rest of my day, because this is seriously making me angry. Alright. Let's see here. Tails' expression scared me. His eyes were black and bleeding. His orange fur had gone black and he had an expression of anguish on his face. Trying to ignore it, I picked Knuckles next. The laugh come again. Oh, sorry. Sorry, that's my fault. The laugh came again and the screen cut to black again and stayed there for another 10 seconds. This time the level said, "You can't run!" I was really freaked out by now. I couldn't really tell if this was a glitch or a hack, or some kind of sick, twisted joke, or anything really. But despite my fear of what happened next, I kept playing. I think my dog is trying to tell me something. Maybe he's trying to tell me he can't hear this story anymore because it's hurting his brain. I think my dog has even had enough of it by now. I seriously thought I heard him whining in there, so... you know. Son of a bitch. My mouse keeps turning off. Oh, I definitely did hear him that time. Alrighty, mates. Let's get it started again. For the 4th time in a row in the last hour. Starting this shit back up. Or anything really, but despite my fear of what happened next, I kept playing. The next level looked much different. It had the ground of the scrap brain zone, but the sky background looked like the main menu. It had the dark reddish cloudy sky, but it was the music that creeped me out the most. It sounded like Geiger's theme right after you beat Pokey in Earthbound. Take a shot, everybody! I also noticed that Knuckles looked afraid just like Tails did, though not as much, more rather, he looked a little unnerved. He broke the 4th wall just like Tails and looked as if he wasn't sure about going on, but I made him move anyway because I'm a cruel and disgusting, murderous psychopath who would love to secretly see exactly what sick programming this guy had come up with. Let's be honest with ourselves. He ran down the straight pathway in this dark level, and as he did, the screen started to flicker red static a couple of times, and then that maddening laugh came again. Okay, I'm gonna add another one every time it mentions this laugh drink. I'm not gonna lie, this will probably kill you faster than the Stephen King drinking game. Which, that's another one I wouldn't recommend. But at least his is enjoyable? This one is just suicide. Alright. Then after a few seconds of running, I noticed, not noticed, with a D, because it's in the past! I noticed several bloodstains on the metallic ground. I felt a growing sense of fear again, thinking, okay, I'm gonna add another one! Take a fucking drink every time it jumps tenses! 'Cause it does it a bunch! I felt a growing sense of fear again, thinking something horrible is going to happen to Knuckles! It did it in the same fucking sentence. Kill me! Oh, why? Why did I do this? What did I think I would gain? There's nothing but pain. Nothing but so much pain. He looked nauseated, walking down this blood-stained road. But I still kept him going. I'd like to point out another thing. Earlier in this paragraph, you used bloodstains, all one word. But you separated bloodstained into 2 words. Why? Why would you do that? It would have been easier to just do it in one word. It's not like it would make any less sense than everything else you've done. But I still kept him going. Suddenly, as Knuckles ran, Sonic appeared right in front of him with those black and red eyes, and then red static appeared again. When the static vanished, showing nothing but black screen with text saying, "Found you," but with a U, D, and U undercase. Why? I don't know. I guess they thought that's scary. That is probably the scariest fucking thing in your story. All the shit that's wrong with it! I was now scared. So was I. Sonic found Knuckles already? What was going on? Alright, let me just... As much as I don't want to give this story any kind of advice, past go die in a ditch, cease to exist, kill your creator, but other than those kinds of things, the only thing I could give this story is Sonic is known for being the fastest being in his universe. That is just that's his thing. That's the whole fucking point of him being the main character. Why are you surprised that the main character is doing exactly what the main character is supposed to fucking do? Alright. If I lost my mind in the Weird Kid review, and I lost it even further in the Jeff the Killer one, and I, like, severely lost it in the Ben Drowned one, if I did it, like, if I severely lost my mind in the Ben Drowned review, I can't even think anymore. I can't think about anything but this story right now. Help me. It is invading my brain, and it is very, very painful. Help me. Son of a bitch, I messed up my mic. Oh, god damn it! There we go. Oh, son of a bitch! I might have fucked this up. Hold up. Oh. There we go. There we go. Son of a bitch. This review is terrible. I understand if you've left. I left. I checked out 40 minutes ago. I couldn't last 10 minutes with this shit. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, but I'm gonna tell you I'm sorry. Just to, I'm sorry you have to listen to this. I'm sorry. We're sorry. If you get that joke, then good on you too. We're sorry. Alright, another oh, hold on. I almost missed, like, this whole fucking paragraph just because I am so fucking annoyed. Anyways, red static came again, and then I was back at the level. Knuckles. There are so many things going wrong in my studio right now. Son of a bitch. Alright, we're leaving that there. There's a better place than this. Just keep on remembering that. Alright, whew. Knuckles looked like he was panicking and Sonic was nowhere to be found, and this time that high-pitched squealing from the Silent Hills No. No! No! and the high-pitched squealing from the Silent Hill one's final boss was playing. Oh, Silent Hill 1. You mean Silent Hill! Another game! Much better than yours! What a fucking coincidence! Was this some kind of boss battle with Sonic? I hope to God it wasn't. Honestly, suddenly Sonic appeared right before Knuckles in what appeared to be pixelated black smoke. I made Knuckles turn and then punch Sonic, but Sonic vanished in black pixelated smoke before I could even land a hit. That terrible laugh went off again, then Sonic appeared behind Sonic... Then Sonic appeared behind Knuckles again, and then I made him punch again, and Sonic vanished again, laughing. Knuckles was panicking even more, and even I felt like I was going crazy. Sonic was practically playing with us. He was playing a sick, twisted little mind game with me and Knuckles, ... Another cutscene played as Knuckled. Another cutscene played as Knuckled fell to his knees and clutched his head, sobbing. I felt his agony. I do. I really do, because I am in agony. I'm in agony reading this. Sonic was actually driving us both crazy. And then in a split second, Sonic lunged at Knuckles and the screen went black with another distorted screeching noise that lasted for at least 3 seconds. Another text message appeared saying, "So many souls to play with, so little time, would you agree? What the hell, just what is going on?" I started to think Sonic's actually trying to talk to me through the game, ... But I was too scared to think that, but you did anyway. I was brought back to the main menu, and this time the second file box had Knuckles in the TV screen. His red fur had darkened to a reddish gray, his dreadlocks were dripping with blood, and his eyes were black and bleeding too, and he had a look of sadness on his face. I began to think that those are the actual characters trapped in those TV screens on the save files, but I couldn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it. Those are the actual characters stuck in there. Oh my God, no! You mean the fictional? Non-based in reality? Completely 100% fictitious? Made up characters? Oh my God. Somebody call the fucking FBI. We have got a fox and an echidna that can talk and fight crime with gems, trapped in TV screens. Call the Pentagon now! This is important! This is the stuff they don't want you to know, people. It's them. It's the government. They're all coming for us. They're all gonna... I, got a little too excited. But are you really... The actual characters? What the fuck is that supposed to mean? They don't exist! 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 They don't fucking exist in the real world! You fucking idiot! So I shut off the game, finally! And took a break. I took a nap. Wish I hadn't, cause I then began to have the most disturbing nightmare. I was in pitch black darkness. You could have just said I was in darkness. I was in pitch darkness. You didn't have to say black again, but you did. If you go through this story, 95% of the dialogue is going to be either the words red static, laughing, red, or black. Those are going to be the main words in this story. Now about 85% of it is made up of that. Different variations of the same shit. Though I was under the light given off by a lamp that hung high above my head, I could hear the cries of Knuckles and Tails nearby. They were saying stuff like, "Help us," and "Why did you give us to him?" and "Run away before he gets you too." Their cries died out as I then heard Sonic laugh. His laugh. It sounded a lot like the distorted Kefka laugh. Oh my God. Can we just stop with this fucking laugh? It's not even original. You're a lot of fun to play with, kid, just like your friend Kyle, though he didn't last long. I was scared and looking around for the source of the voice. Won't be long until you join him and all my other friends. I saw him walking toward me, flickering in and out of several directions. You can't run, kid. You're in my world now, just like the others. When he grabbed me and I saw his bleeding black and red-eyed, grinning face, I woke up with a fright. Once again, take a drink every time it jumps tenses. If you caught which one it did in that one, good on you. Take a shot. You're gonna need it. After a couple of hours, I decided to continue playing the game because my mind works like a toddler. I don't know why, but I had to know. Well, I just told you why. Your brain works like a toddler. I had to figure out why this was happening, so I turned on the computer, turned on the game, and selected Robotnik next. I still thought that was wacky, playing as Robotnik, but anyway, the level title appeared again, and this time it said ... which I found really freaky. This time I was in some kind of hallway. Didn't really look like it was from any of the classic Sonic games, though it had a pixelated style. The floor was shiny and checkered. The walls were a dark grayish purple with animated candlelights and a few dark blood stains here and there. I'm getting sick from this. And there was a dark red curtain hanging above on the top part of the screen. Alright, how many times did red get brought up in there? Red curtain, blood stains, red background, everything's red. I mean, shit, there's so much red in this fucking story that I'm starting to think the guy's just about to break into fucking song with Taylor Swift. Did you like that? I know you did. Shut up! That was clever! If you're wondering who I'm talking to, of course it's nobody. I have nobody. I do. I talk to myself. It's a problem. It's a problem. Leave me alone. I'm the only one who will listen to me. Okay, every 12 seconds or so, that red curtain sways very slowly. But whenever you're playing the game, you can barely see it move. The music was oddly pleasant. Take a shot, because it just jumped tenses again. A piano playing a rather sad yet peaceful song, but I knew better. This was the song that played in Hill Act 1, only it wasn't in reverse. Robotnik didn't look entirely nervous like Tails and Knuckles did, but he did have a suspicious look on his face as if he was just a bit paranoid. He did a little animation when I just left him standing. He turned his head to the left and then to the right, at least twice, and then shrugs at me as if he had no idea where he was or what was going on. You know, I was scared out of my mind about what was gonna happen. I Robotnik didn't already just running animation, know where he beating him at the end of classic Sonic game and you choose him as we continue through the hallway. Then I stopped with a long flight of stairs leading downward. Now I was nervous. Even Robotnik seemed unsure of himself, though I ran onward. Now I led Robotnik down the stairs, and I noticed the wall had gotten darker and more reddish. And if you are complaining at this point that you can't understand my voice, fuck you. Seriously, fuck you. Because if you can read this story and act even remotely serious, you have absolutely no place in the horror community. I'm sorry. You just have no place at all. Oh, wait. Did I say that, MCP? I think I did. I will never excuse that he did that story. I don't give a fuck what you tell me. There's no reason he should have done it. There's no reason anybody with a fucking brain should have done this story, except to make fun of it for the piece of shit that it is. So yeah, that's my little jab at MCP. I don't give a fuck. Come at me. Tell me what you want. I don't give a fuck. I was a fan before probably most of you people ever were, so I don't even want to hear it. Let me see. Where were we? Then as I led Robotnik down the stairs, I noticed the walls have gotten darker, more reddish. The red torches are now an eerie blue. Then we landed onto another hallway. We landed onto another hallway. We landed. What, did you fucking pole jump? Did you vault? Did you long jump? What did you do? What the fuck did you do? You landed. Were you on a spaceship? Were you in an aircraft? It's the little things. I noticed he now looked really creeped out. Though he tried to hide it, I couldn't blame him. I was scared too. Suddenly, SONIC popped up right in front of Robotnik, the same way he did Knuckles, and then red static. The red static lasted about 15 seconds, and then it showed me a most unpleasant image. The image showed a hyper-realistic of Sonic standing in the darkness, where you can only see his face while his head and torso faded into black. And when I say hyper-realistic, I mean like he looked so real you could actually see the lines in his blue fur, as if you could actually feel the fur if you touched the screen. So, let's count that up. That's 1, 2, 3... 3 shots? Yeah, 3 shots in that one paragraph. His face. Oh God, he had the most horrifying smile I had ever seen. And that's saying something, considering I saw that image at the start of the game. His eyes are wide and black and once again crying blood. So that's a shot for mentioning his eyes. That's a shot for mentioning black. That's a shot for mentioning blood. Oh, this just makes it even better. Which also looked hyper-realistic. Shot for hyper-realism, and there were 2 small glowing red. Oh, there we go. 5 shots. And those black eyes staring right at me, as if staring into my mind. That's 6 shots in one sentence, people. 6 fucking shots. See why I said this story will kill you if you actually go through with this? If you really want to see the full humor of that game in effect, go and watch the bad Creepypasta people. I think it's Michael Leroy YouTube channel. Go look at their review of this, because they actually took a shot for every time of one of these things. And God help those people if they don't have liver poisoning right now. Like, for real. I couldn't physically do that. I would die if I tried this shit. I might do it one day. I'll probably do it next year when obviously I can drink, but I've never wanted to do one of those because if I'm gonna get really drunk, I want to have fun doing it, and I just feel like this would be the worst way to get drunk because I would just be getting pissed off at everything else. But I will do a review where I do like a drinking game for it. I'll find a really bad one other than this one, and I'll do it, obviously, next year after I'm 21. But, yeah, if you really want some humor, you should go and watch the Sonic.EXE drunk review, because the fact that they had to drink for it shows you how terrible this story is. I should have drank for this, but I didn't. I didn't, because I have responsibilities, and I have to work, and I can't drink when I gotta work. But this story sure drives me to thinking about it. Anyways, moving onward. Alright, we were at his face. Okay, yeah. Here we go. His grin was wide and demonic. It literally stretched to the sides of his face like a Cheshire cat. Now, they have capitalized Cheshire cat, yet they have neglected that the Cheshire cat is not a type of cat. He is the name of the cat. That is the name of him. His name is the Cheshire Cat. He is not a Cheshire Cat. He is the Cheshire Cat. I should know this. I kinda am dealing with that character. So this really hits home. You are so fucking dumb if you think you can capitalize a Cheshire Cat. That doesn't mean anything! You can't capitalize something like that! It's not a type of cat, you retard! I'm sorry, that one got me. I didn't remember that he'd mentioned the Cheshire Cat, and I hate that. This makes me even more mad! It says, like a Cheshire Cat, except Sonic had fangs. Are you fucking dumb? Have you ever seen the Cheshire Cat? His teeth are like razors. Just because it's not in the Disney movie, his teeth are like razors. He is very dangerous. Have you ever seen Alice, Madness Returns, or Alice? You obviously have no clue that the Cheshire Cat is supposed to be quite a menacing character. But, yeah. I guess that the Cheshire Cat, despite being a cat, does not have fangs. I guess he doesn't have fangs, but Sonic does! But Sonic has fangs! Don't forget that! Very sharp fangs. Much like the werehog's teeth. Bringing in more shit, right? Except more vicious looking, somewhat yellowish, and from the look of it, he had stains of blood and small bits of flesh on his lips and fangs, as if he ate some animal. Again, with these bit graphics, you were able to make out these details. How? You might have seen, like, a speck of red on his face, around his mouth, and that's where I'm assuming you're getting this description. You can't have this much detail in a game that didn't even have capabilities of making humans look human! I'm sorry, how fucking long is this? Oh. Oh my god. Oh. Oh god. Oh, by the way, there's the author's response for the story being deleted is on here. I am going to read it, so you know where I'm coming from. Because this guy's delusional. He thinks this story is good. Alright, fuck, I lost my place. I stared at that gruesome image for a good 30 seconds, never taking my eyes off it. I felt as if he was actually looking at me, smiling at me, that face. It just took 10 seconds for it to etch itself into my brain for good. Oh, really? You looked at it for 10 seconds straight, and it just... boom. I'm pretty sure when you see something horrifying, it's etched in your brain the second your eyeballs see it! Then the screen flickered with red static again 3 times, and on that 3rd time I heard the Kefka laugh. Ugh! Except this time it sounded distorted, demonic even. Isn't that what you said before, dumbass? It went back to the image again, except this time there was the text again, though it was messed up. But it was pretty much one of the most horrifying things I looked at since I had this game. I am God! It was when I read that message while looking at Sonic when it hit me. I realized right there and then. This Sonic was a monster. A pure evil, sadistic, all-powerful, nightmarish, demented monster. And all of his victims, including Tails, Knuckles, Robotnik, and possibly Kyle, are just his little toys. And the game is the very gateway into his chaotic, nightmarish world, and the very hell his victims are trapped in. Suddenly, in an actual split second, I screamed as Sonic lunged at the screen, loudly with his mouth wide open, to an unnatural length revealing nothing but a literally spiraling abyss of pure darkness before the red static came again, this time much louder and distorted, so loud that it hurt my ears. Hold on one fucking second, I need another break. This is really hurting me. Oh, God. Fucking ridiculous. fucking... I've had this show paused so long that my TV turned itself back on. Because it knows that I'm in here too long, and it needs me to finish this shit. So let's get the fuck out of here. I yelled and grabbed my ears as the red static screeched for about 6 or 7 seconds. Then it stopped and showed nothing but black screen. As I sat there staring at the black screen, one last text came up. Ready for round 2, Tom? The Kefka laugh, now sounding more clear as if Sonic was right behind me, played again 3 times as I looked at that text in shock and confusion. Then I got booted back to the main menu, and this time the third save file had a TV image of Robotnik in the same tormented state as Tails and Knuckles. Robotnik's skin turned a dull gray, his mustache drooped, and his had blackened. His glasses broke, and blood is coming from them, and he had a mere dead-like expression on his face. I looked at Tails, Knuckles, and Robotnik, and I cried a bit. I pitied them for the agony they're going through. They were forever trapped within the game, forever tormented by that horrid hedgehog, and always will be. Then the computer shut itself off. I couldn't turn it back on no matter what I did. I sat there for about 25 seconds, horrified by what had just happened. Sonic is the very embodiment of evil. He tortures people who play his game in more ways than one, and then when he gets bored, he drags you into the game, literally drags you to hell where he can play with you always as his toy. I can't get the game out of my computer. I think it's stuck in there, but at least I managed to turn it back on now. After I sat there for 25 seconds, I heard a voice right behind me, like a whisper. Try to keep this interesting for me, Tom. I turned around to see where this voice came from, and what I saw made me scream. Sitting on my bed, staring right at me, was a Sonic plushie, smiling with bloodstains under his eyes. Here's the good shit. Here is the good shit. This is it, alright? Are you ready? Are you ready? Author's response to this story being deleted. Now, it says that the original journal has been deleted, and we can find an archived version of it, along with all the comments, at least the ones that weren't deleted by the author for being too negative. Alright. We're gonna take a look at this version, and then we're gonna take a look at the archive version. We're gonna have a bit of fun with this, because this is the only way I can see to have fun with this shit. Alright, I'm gonna read this in the Sonic voice. I deeply regret to inform you all that I received some bad news. The admins of the Creepypasta wiki have finally decided to delete Sonic.EXE off of the wiki on the grounds that it was badly written and had too many cliches and was a bad example of what should be a creepypasta. Bull friggin' horseshit. If you were gonna say shit, why would you say friggin'? Why wouldn't you say fucking, you damn pussy? As you can see, I am furious with the fact that my masterpiece, which has won the hearts of millions and has had a massive impact on the internet, notice he doesn't say whether it was a good impact though, is being brought down by a bunch of jealous, arrogant, retarded furry haters. Sonic's not a furry, you dumb fuck. He's a hedgehog. He's an animal. Furries are people. They're people that dress up as animals because they can't accept that they're freaks. Yes, furries are freaks. I'm sorry. I'm not going to condone any equality like that's a fucking sexuality, because it's not. I know. I have sexuality problems. I've had to deal with that shit. And I know for a fact I've never questioned whether I was an animal or anything rather than a human. So, furries, a lot of them try and put themselves on the level of people who actually have problems, like transgender people with gender dysphoria, actual gender dysphoria, and people who have sexuality issues, such as myself, you know, they try and put themselves on the same level as us, and that's not even comparable, because you are engaging in something that is completely 100% your choice. There's not a shred of evidence to support that you were born thinking you're an animal, or that you need to have sex like an animal, or that you need to dress up in these ridiculous looking suits and go around acting like a fucking weirdo. There's a reason we have names for those people. It's not because we're mean, it's because those people are very messed up. I'm sure there's a lot of nice people out there that are furries, and I'm sure I might get a lot of shit for saying this. My personal opinion, no, I don't have anything against them. I don't think they're bad people or anything. I just personally think that the process of dressing up in a fursuit and acting like that thing is very strange if you are an adult. Unless you're a child, I think pretending to be anything that you're not is extremely strange. Unless you're an actor or somebody that is paid to do that. Doing it just because is not the same. Like me, I pretend to be something on here, but I also don't, because like in these videos, I'm not trying to pretend to be somebody else. I am myself in these videos. And that's why you get my entire viewpoint. But you can't put that on the same level as these kind of things. You just can't. It has nothing to do with furries. It has the fact to do with the fact that you made a story about fucking Sonic. And nobody likes Sonic. I don't give a shit what you have to say about it. Sonic is shit. He was a joke. He's always been a joke. He will always be a joke. To every other gaming icon, he is the joke. He's the joke in the room. There's a reason they don't always have a Sonic game being released every other year. It's because they suck. Alright. But that does not mean I'm just going to sit down and take this lightly. Nope, 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 nope. They have been messing with the bull, and now they've called out the horns. That's not the saying, first of all, and you're a dumb fuck for thinking that it is. Listen, everyone. I need your help with this. We are at war here. I want every Sonic.EXE fan who's reading this to get the word out. I want you to tell every other Sonic.EXE fan out there, every fanatic, every artist, every follower of my creation about this. Tell your friends who are also Sonic.EXE friends if they have to. Tell them we have to keep the spirit of Sonic.EXE alive. Make more fan art, make more videos, block the haters. Praise Sonic.EXE like you never have before. Build websites dedicated to his greatness. Whatever you gotta do to keep him alive and strong, just do it. Really? Right? 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 No, let's give him a hand. Shut your mouth. Start clapping. Thank you, sir, for those wonderful words of wisdom. Don't listen to these people that are saying my story is bad. Don't listen to these people that don't like it. They're just haters. They don't understand us. You should go over here and you should make a website for me. You should tell your friends about this. This is really something that needs to get out to the masses. Is it? Is it really? The deletion of Sonic.EXE from the wiki is but a minor cut on our flower of greatness, my friends. And that cut has done nothing but further the spreading, and we are the pollen of this flower. We need to prepare for our victory over capitalized the haters. The haters need to bleed for their crimes. Rejoice, my fellow Sonic.EXE fans! Our glorious little hellspawn shall have the laugh yet. This will be his ultimate victory. The absolute subjugation of the internet itself. my god. Oh my god. Wow. Wow. Let's see what he originally said. I gotta see what this guy originally said. Now, I think if I'm not mistaken, the bad creepypasta people also went through his response, but I don't know if they went through this. I don't know if they went through any of the comments or anything. Let me see, let me see if any of these are different. Okay. Oh my god. First comment says, you can't be accused of having too many cliches. You actually invented those things that became cliche in creepypasta. Are you a dumb fuck person? I'm not gonna give their username or anything, but are you really fucking stupid? You can most certainly have more. Cliches were invented in horror movies, you fucking idiot! Creepypasta didn't invent anything in horror! They just took from horror and built off of it! Oh, but the creator responded to this person, personally, and said, exactly. That's why the admins cannot get away with this slander. Slander! The only thing my creepypasta has is a few minor grammatical errors. I like what this guy said. This guy just, he posted a video to it, to the person that said that you can't have too many cliches. And then he said, there is such a thing as having too many cliches. Sure, you can use commonly repeated things from stories, but that doesn't make them good. Thank you! You fucking idiots don't seem to realize this. Just because something was in one story and was good in that story, doesn't mean you can rip it out of that story, stick it into another one that makes absolutely no sense, and make it work. It's not how writing works. But of course, they just said, someone's in a pissy mood. Someone takes whiz in your cornflakes. So already they've completely ruined their talking. But yeah. Dumbass. But he just said, who said I was pissy? Just trying to tell you this isn't good. And somebody replied, so true! What a surprise! The creator didn't respond to that guy. Alright, this guy's, they really fucking think this is a war, guys. I'm reading their comments, and this guy says, Vampire Sonic Artist, I will give your name away, because Jesus Christ. Want me to douse them in gasoline and set them on fire? And the creator responds, XDDDDDD, if we did that, we'd probably be in jail. No, the best way to defeat an enemy in war is to demoralize them. You think you're at war? Nobody is even paying attention to you fuckers. We're laughing at you. You're a joke. And how do we do that, good sir? Go all anonymous on them and humiliate them? Or would that do a lot more harm than good? We'll think of something, XD. Though you of all people should know how much I love chaos. Winky face. XD, winky face. True. Though people on DeviantArt are pretty pissed about this, Negative Nancy's, however, are trying to force people to stop worrying about it. I just hope no one literally gets hurt over this. Staring face. Indeed, I fear that the deletion may in fact cause an uprising in the internet. If that's the case, then we better make it so the uprising ends in our favor. Well, I don't think it'll make any serious news, but I also don't want troll sites like 4chan or Encyclopedia Dramatica taking note. Though I do think that this will spread through word of mouth to sites like YouTube and Dailymotion, I'd love to hear Markiplier talk about this, though! These conversations speak for themselves, guys, so I'm just gonna keep going. I'm sure he would love to help. He loves Sonic.EXE, doesn't he? You know what? I don't actually watch Markiplier. I don't have anything against him. I've laughed at his content before. It's interested me before, but I'm going to tweet Markiplier right now, this second. Are you a fan of Sonic.EXE? Because if not, where are you getting your information from? Do you really think that a gamer, somebody who doesn't even do what we do on YouTube, would ever have anything to do with your story? Ever! You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna tweet him. Look on my Twitter later. I'm going to tweet to Markiplier, and I'm gonna ask him. Because this is stupid. Well, he did play the first game. I wonder if he'll play SALLY.EXE. I would love to see that. Too bad the game is ridiculously short. But Mystic Crimson did say he would update it and make it longer. So this is only the beginning. I'm going to see if he's already done so. By the power of YouTube. If you're wondering why I've gone silent, it's because I have come across a response that I cannot accurately come up with a response to. I think he literally went through and handpicked these comments to be nothing but good comments, like great comments. What the actual fuck?! I saw no cliches in Sonic.EXE. SonicCune.EXE revs up a chainsaw. Someone's gonna die! Better spread the word then, Shepettes. Do everything you can to keep EXE alive. Vroom vroom. Tee-hee. You suddenly remind me of Baby Doll from Batman. Really? You remind me of a fucking weeaboo. I think of myself as Harley Quinn sometimes, but anywho, let's save EXE! Yeah, you keep on saving EXE. All the way to its fucking end. As you already know, JC, I do see the cliches they speak of, and I do think the original pasta could have been better. However, I've gone on record as saying that with fine-tuning, it could be better than ever. And that your writing improved in the sequel. Not only, oh yeah, there's a sequel. Don't worry about that. I'm not doing that, and I need months to get away from this one before I can do the sequel. I will do it, but I will not do it for months. I have to get my brain back, and I have to somewhat try to piece together. It's not sanity, it's, I guess, just consciousness. Gotta piece that all back together in a somewhat normal fashion after I have experienced this terrible thing. I feel like I have a tumor growing. And it's just like around me. And it's encasing me with anger. Alright. Basically, they say, okay, I've seen Creepypasta way worse than they're claiming Sonic.EXE to be. I used to be an avid fan of Pokemon Creepypasta, and I've seen some shit. And I mean shit, the only way they could possibly make themselves look a little bit less unreasonable is if they deleted Jeff and Jane the Killer, because both of those used way more cliches than EXE. Well, guess what? All the almighty gods of Creepypasta did that before they deleted Sonic.EXE! And you're wrong, by the way. Jeff the Killer doesn't have as many cliches. Yeah, it's a terrible story, and it spawned so much shit that it's probably the most infamous creepypasta now, other than Slender Man. But, no. You're wrong. You're 100% wrong. This story was worse. 100% in every way possible. You know what? This story was worse than Been Drowned. Do you know how hard it is for me to say that? Been Drowned is a story I despise so much, I could not review it until the 6th fucking episode in this series because I knew that when I did, I was going to lose the fucking shit out of myself. But this took the cake. They had to prove me wrong. The internet said, hold my beer, and they just had to come up with something worse. I have a fanfic planned out that takes place after the sequel. Oh my god. Oh fuck no. That I've been meaning to ask you permission to write, and I would love to do that, at the very least draw the human version of EXE. Oh my god. That I brained out in my head. Maybe even with a humanized Sonic. Oh. However, a tremendous loss in my family has done awful things to my creativity muse. Perhaps I will learn to make meatball marinara in honor of EXE as What? I've also planned to make an EXE plushie for a while now. I may not fully agree with you on everything, but I've got your back. So this lady... No. Your first sentence, you don't get where any of the people are coming from. If you think that that story could have been better, you don't have any creativity. I'm sorry, you have none. Get the fuck out of here. Kindly clear out your desk and exit life. As long as you are loyal to Sonic.EXE, no matter what, you're alright in my book. Also, he also has pickles with his meatball marinara. These are the most cancerous comments I've ever read. Of course, I still have a soft spot for the original story due to being in love with the mythos surrounding EXE in general. Oh my fuck, how can you even? I am well aware there is still a small problem though. I can do pickles in small portions and I don't mind their taste, but I have a slight texture issue with them. What is going on? What the fuck is going on? I thought these were supposed to be about the story. I'm sorry to hear Sonic.EXE most definitely have made a huge impact on the internet. From artwork to game mods, I do not understand why they gotta remove such an awesome, horrific in a cool way, creepypasta. They really are jealous, arrogant, retarded, furry haters. Thank you for your support. I'm really glad you're on my side about this. No problem. Who wouldn't want to support everyone's favorite creepypasta? Apparently, the haters. Which, by the way, are going to bleed as per EXE's motto. Alright, I'm gonna read one more of these. I can't do this anymore. I'm sorry, guys. This is enough. I've put you through enough torture. Through enough pain, I think. I've talked to one of the admins, and apparently Jane the Killer is indeed on the chopping block as well. The admin I've talked to seems to be one who's trying her best to be very, very patient with everyone, despite everyone being upset and throwing that her way. But at least it feels less unreasonable now, and less aimed at furries. It was never aimed at furries! Sonic's not a fucking furry! He's a hedgehog! He is himself an animal! Whom I've always had felt have gotten way more shit than they deserve. Yeah. Yeah, furries. Furries have gotten more hate than they deserve. They're the group that's just been shunned and demonized. I'm sorry, I live in the deep south. Furries aren't even a fucking thing down here. You know what is a thing down here? Sexuality issues and gender issues and a bunch of other things that are real issues. Stop equating furry fucking shit to actual sexual problems. You have no standing ground. None. Alright, y'all. I can't. It's over. I read the story. That's all I can do. I'm not gonna say anything about the story or why it was bad. You know why it was bad. It's fucking awful. That's the end of it. Have a great day. I'll see you for episode 8, Squidward's Suicide. Jesus Christ. Fucking mouse. Of course, and then at the end, the mouse can't even turn on for me so that I can just end the recording. No. It has to fuck itself up, right? Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you for episode 8 next week.